Hey everyone, this is Aaron at Promevo. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create, deploy, and publish a custom agent using the new Google Agent Development Kit, or ADK for short. I'll start off with some sample code of a multi-agent system. Next, I'll show you how to deploy it to Google Cloud's Agent Engine. And then finally, we'll publish it so others can use the custom agent in their Agentspace instance. All you need to follow along is a Google Cloud project, a cloud storage bucket, and VS Code. So let's get started. For this tutorial, I'll be using VS Code. It's a good choice because it's a free tool, it's very common, and it works on pretty much every operating system. Linux, Windows, Mac, it'll work just fine on all of them. For simplicity's sake, I'm just going to assume everyone's on a Linux flavored environment, just to make this next process quick and easy to explain. The first thing you'll need to do is clone the repository. So I like to have all of my repositories in a folder called Git. The command to do this is git clone, and then this is the address of the repository. When you perform this action, it'll copy all of the files from that repository into the directory you're sitting in. You can also see them over on the left sidebar. The next steps I'm not going to perform because I've already done them, but I will explain how they work and show the code overlaid on the screen. You do want to set up a virtual environment. This is just the best practice to not commingle all of your Python environments together. So once you run the create command for your virtual environment, the next thing you'll want to do is activate it. I will run this because there is a good indicator on VS Code that you are actually in the virtual environment. The final environment thing you want to do is install the requirements for the project. So in my environment, I've got the requirements.txt file in a subfolder. So you can either reference this folder directly when you're running the install script, which is shown on the screen now, or you can move into the folder for ease of installing. I like to run the requirements.txt installer from the folder. So to do that, just change directory into that. And then you can run the pip install command right here. But again, for time purposes, I'm not going to run through the entire installation process, but we can assume everything's installed. So we're ready to go. The next thing we want to do is let's take a look at some of this code. The first thing we'll want to look at is the agent file itself. Now, this is where everything is defined here. Your agents are all defined here. In the system we're building, we'll have a root agent that is designed to take their user request and distribute it to the other agents built into the system. Above, you can see I've got agent definitions for other purposes. My first agent is a Reddit agent. Its job is to use the Reddit API and do two main things: look for relevant posts on whatever the user submits, and then return the top posts in the subreddit. The second agent is a BigQuery agent, which is designed to interact with a data set. In this case, I've created a custom data set for this demo, which it's got tables for orders and parts, things like that for illustration purpose. I've also included some instructions on how I want the agent to handle the questions, because what it's doing using the BigQuery tool, which is a built-in tool, is that it's using natural language to interpret whatever the user asks. So this is kind of nice. I originally had built individual functions to handle each set of requests and have the agent say, well, I can do this and this, but not this. The natural language feature that's built in to the ADK makes the system a whole lot flexible when you're querying your database in BigQuery. So it's able to handle any requests using simple natural language. We won't get too far into the details of the actual agent code. I think if you're at this point, you probably understand how the agents work, how the prompting works. And what we want to focus on here is how to actually build this agent and deploy it to Agentspace. But before we do that, we want to make sure that the agent's working. And one of the cool features of the ADK is the web interface for testing. It's really simple to boot up this interface. All you got to do is type ADK Web, and it'll bring up a browser window. Now, this browser window brings up a very intuitive tool for tracing all the steps your agent system is performing. Just going to give it a couple of simple prompts here. As you can see, the testing tool shows you the thought process of the agent. It also shows you the flow of how the agents are passing the commands from the root agent to the sub agents. As you can see here, The decision was made based on my question to pass it to the Reddit agent, and the agent decided the best tool for it to use based on the question was to get the top posts. You can also view the responses on the code written for the actual function. So if you were to go back and look at the code written for the Reddit API function I created, you would see that one of the things it built was a dictionary of responses. So you can see that here. So the web UI gives you some great tools to actually trace the logic, the process, everything the agent is doing under the hood. So now that we know that agent works, the next thing we want to do is go back to our VS Code, shut down the web tool, and we want to publish this agent to Agent Engine. The ADK has a very simple, straightforward way to publish your agent to the Agent Engine system. Here is a sample on how to make the call. So of course, for your case, you're going to want to configure this to your project, your agent name, all that information. This will take a few minutes to complete, but once it's done, you will see your agent published to the Agent Engine platform. From here, you can click in and see the deployment details of the agent, including the things that uploaded to make the agent work, including the requirements text. So that's why it's important to run that command from the folder that your agent.py file lives in. The last step of this process is to publish your agent to Agentspace, to register your agent to Agentspace. To do this, we're going to use a third-party tool found at this GitHub location here. This tool was created by a Googler to simplify the, as of right now, complicated process of registering agents to Agentspace. Luckily, everything's packaged up in this nice little platform where all you have to do is download the repository and modify the configuration file to your details. Once you do that, you'll have to run this very straightforward command that pops up a menu window that shows you the available actions you can take. In this case, we'll want to register an agent. And if you fill out the configuration file, everything should populate for you. So once that's done, your agent will now appear on your Agentspace agent here under the agent section. It should work very similar to how it did on your testing instance on the web UI. As you can see, it pops up with some helpful information. So this indicates everything's working. I hope this video has been helpful to show you the entire process from beginning to end of creating an agent, deploying to Agent Engine, and then finally adding to Agentspace. Thanks. Have a good day.